All
All right.
right, so we are live. Welcome everybody. We're just doing the health expert interview series. So today I've got my good friend, colleague, coworker, Jodie Isles from Merakai Massage. So tell us about yourself, Jodie, who you are and how you got into the industry.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Bob. It's really nice to sit back and relax and chat with you on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah, I'm the founder of Merakai Therapies. I've been working with you alongside you for, I don't know now, 3.5 years. It's gone
Almost, yeah.
really quickly. Um, so my journey into massage started, I was working in the corporate world for quite a while. So I've got a commerce accounting degree and got into a lot of IT implementation stuff. Training for software packages and all of that fun corporate stuff, which I love, but it didn't really it didn't fill my heart too much. There was quite a lot of stress involved in that. And I'd always loved that idea of doing physiotherapy. So my husband and I spent 2 years in London, and on the way back, when we got back, I just decided that I would do physio, and thought a great stepping stone into doing that would be to do massage. So I remember walking into the college at Australian College of Natural Medicine in the Valley, and I got all of the information about it. And then I sat down with my hubby and went, here's my plan of this is what I want to do. And I started studying massage and absolutely fell in love with it, and thought, oh, well, I might just work in this for a little while and then study physiotherapy. And lo and behold, 16, 17 years later, I'm still massaging. So, and I love it. Yeah, absolutely
Oh,
love it.
wow, I never knew that. I didn't know you wanted to be a physio.
Yeah, yes, yeah. It's always kind of been in the back of my mind, and I think now I really love collaborating with physiotherapists, but I don't foresee me studying it now. I think I've kind of left my run too late, but I actually really love the emotional connection that I can provide with massage, and working with physios is a fantastic time for that. So yeah, we can support our clients a lot better, I think, by having that.
So tell me about Mirakai. Where does that originate from? Where did you get the idea for it? What does Mirakai mean?
So the word Merakai, actually, I've changed the spelling of it a little bit. So it actually comes from the word Meraki, Meraki, and it's a Greek word meaning to put a bit of your soul and passion into what you do, that's exactly how I operate, and I've always operated. But I just changed the wording of it slightly to make it a bit more unique for us. And gosh, that idea in my mind really for the business, it really started from my own journey. I've always been into sport, so I thought when I was going to finish studying massage, I would be very much a sports massage therapist. And then I went on the journey through pregnancy, and our second child, my daughter, was 3.5 years of trying to fall pregnant, and a really tough journey through that whole fertility and ending up with IVF on a number of cycles. So when I was going through that journey, I was always looking for a place that would offer that really holistic support for mums on that journey, covering everything, not just, the happy time of pregnancy, because pregnancy is a most amazing, beautiful journey, but there's so many aspects that so many women go into, particularly if they suffer things like loss or miscarriage or IVF like I did. There's such a missing link. And so that is the real foundation for why I started Merakai. It's about giving people something that I was always looking for when I was going through my own journey. And now I'm very fortunate and incredibly grateful. I've got 3 beautiful children. And now I've got a business that I can, have that kind of connection with babies that, I love, but not, 3 kids for me is just perfect. So.
Three is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention earlier, you're a mom of 3, so that's already a full-time job in itself.
Yeah, it's pretty full on. Yeah. But full on, and in a fun way as well. So, yeah.
So you have a special interest in, I know you have a special interest in labor prep. So actually, I actually don't know that much about labor prep and what you guys do during your sessions. What is labor prep? What happens in labor prep?
So labour, if I backtrack a little bit, I thought I was going to do sort of pregnancy massage, and I thought that would be the scope of what I do. And when you touch into that world, there's so many other things that I've fallen in love with. And when Catherine McInerney from Pregnancy Massage Australia asked me to join the team and lecture for them, I'd already completed her course, and one of the that I thought would just be a really nice adjunct into having a conversation with clients when they're on the table was this labour partner training. And it's just become its own beautiful little section of our business. And God, absolutely, hands down, love doing those sessions. They're a lot of fun. So when a couple come in, so we get a lot of referrals from midwives and obstetrician practices. And what I've really tried to do with that labour partner training is marry it up with the antenatal classes that couples usually do with their medical care provider. So it's not meant to be an opposing kind of view. It's actually meant to mold really beautifully. And from all of the feedback from a lot of the midwives that we work with, it is a beautiful connection between the two. So when you do an antenatal class, you learn a whole heap of things about birth, but there's so much content from a medical perspective that the thing that we can bring to the table with the labour partner training is that touch and that connection. And I really do believe that labour and bringing a baby into the world should be about a couple bringing the baby into the world together. And a lot of the times you've got all this information, but the dads or the partners will stand back and think, wow, what do? I don't know what to do. And they get a little bit overwhelmed, and they're a bit scared and a bit tentative because it looks like their wife is in pain and they want to fix it, but they can't fix it. And what do they do? So in our sessions, we really just scale it right back to talking a bit about labour and how that connects with what they've done with their antenatal classes. And then we get really hands-on, and I really spend a lot of time teaching the dads how to massage a mum, how to connect with a mum, and how to create what I keep talking about is this birth bubble, where creating a space where she can go into what she needs to do, her primal place in her brain, which allows her body to do what it naturally needs to do. And then we get over a football and lots of different techniques to be able to then support her through contractions and the delivery of the baby. So there's always a beautiful moment in the room where you go, that technique just suits you to hands down, and it just feels comfortable and it feels right. And it's this beautiful, it really is a beautiful place. And I say that to me, it feels like the partner is like the tree trunk and the rock and that real support base for a mum just to be able to float and free and do exactly what she needs to be able to do. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's in a nutshell, it's all about giving a couple the emotional and touch aspect to be able to bring their baby into the world together. And it's pretty beautiful to be part of. So, yeah.
I gotta say, it is pretty amazing, but actually back to what you were saying, like the partner being the rock or the tree trunk, like it's the first time around, like every dad has no idea what to do. Your wife's screaming in pain and you're just like, oh, what do I do? So that actually is good that you're providing that training.
Yeah.
And dads out there, it's about the mom, but also about the dad as well. I think that partner training is that's something I wish I had done, but I didn't know you at the time.
Yeah, no, and I wish I knew back then what I know now about, babies and pregnancy and labour. And I have a lot of second-time couples, particularly mums who've come in and they might have had a lot of anxiety during the pregnancy or had touched on a bit of birth trauma for their first labour. Because you're right, the first labour, you've become so informed, but you also feel like you're getting a bit lost in the process. And dads will, in particular, sort of stand back and go, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And the common feedback I get from partners when they come in is they feel like they've got a toolbox of tricks, or, lots of tools, not to fix it, but to be a part of it. And that's really special.
Mm-hmm. And you do labor induction as well, labor induction training?
So the labour partner training, we cover, obviously the supporting the mum. There's a few points in there about acupressure. We don't advertise to do labour induction. We advertise to do labour preparation. And I think the key difference is, oh gosh, you and I would be millionaires if we could press on a point and mum could go into labour. And I think labour will always start when a mum and her body is ready. And for us, our labour preparation is about doing as much as we can to prepare her body for labour. And that includes working on the musculoskeletal system, working on her nervous system, and getting her into a really beautiful space for her body to go into labour. And then giving her some information about acupressure points and different techniques that she can do to help her body be prepared for labour. So when it starts, she's in a really good place to be able to do that. Labour is always going to start when a mum feels the most relaxed. So if we can get her into that space, then our job is done. Yeah.
So I was just actually flipping through your website. So you guys go from pre-pregnancy to pregnancy to postnatal as well. So it's a one-stop shop for all the entire pregnancy process.
Yep, absolutely. And that to me is fundamental to supporting mums. You know, the whole basis for the business was to support mums on the journey, like to pregnancy, throughout her pregnancy, into motherhood and beyond. And, you know, barring certain conditions that may come up in pregnancy, which might change the way we treat a mum, we can treat a mum. I do a lot of fertility support. So a lot of our mums will be going through either natural fertility to try and get pregnant, or they might be going through assisted fertility with IVF. And, you know, that I remember that time being so anxiety driven. And yeah, so we can work with mums from every single stage of her journey, right back to, you know, even 10 years postnatal, and or she's having a subsequent pregnancy. There's not one moment that a mum can't ring up and get a massage or a treatment from us, yeah, in her life, which is very important.
Are the benefits of postnatal massage? What happens after during that time? Because I know, and from a Chinese medicine point of view, but what are your thoughts on that? What happens after? What happens postnatal?
Yeah, and I think so. A lot happens postnatal. Sorry, I thought somebody was about to come in the door. Then I've got my son about to peek in. So a mum goes through the journey of pregnancy. So you've got 9 months, and her body is going through, as you know, so many incredible changes during that time. Her body, musculoskeletally, hormonally, everything happens. And I always say pregnancy, when you're pregnant, you wake up with a new body every single day, because every day is absolutely different. And then a mum will go through labour, and that's, you know, that's like a marathon. Or she might have a cesarean. And then she's got this beautiful bundle of joy, and her body has gone through 9 months of incredible change, and then she's gone through labour, and then her body then has to resettle back down into some sort of normality, but also be able to care for this little one. So there's so much that changes in that postnatal period. And I think postnatally for a mum, it can go up to 2 years, because it depends on so many factors for what's happened in her journey. So it could be anywhere from 9 months to 2 years is what they say for postnatal. And it could depend on how long you're breastfeeding for, you know, how many babies you've got. You might have twins. You might be constantly bending over and picking up and having so much tension, and hormonally as well. Yeah, there's so many things that impact a mum postnatally. So, and also just reconnecting with her body. You know, her body's changed, and a lot of mums, we do a lot of abdominal work, and I really, really love doing abdominal work, because it really helps a mum reconnect with her body, really helps her reconnect with her belly and her stomach, which has provided life, and also helps mums with cesarean scar work as well. So it's really important.
So that is, yeah, that's pretty amazing. Like I've seen patients where they've had up to postnatal depression. Is that something that you guys work with as well?
Yeah, definitely. And we work with, we have a lot of mums we're part of a program. So as part of what we offer, there's a beautiful colleague of mine in Sydney, Melbourne, called Sarah Fogarty. She works with the Western Sydney University, and she has created this training for massage therapists working with couples who have lost. And that's that for me, within my own journey, is pretty raw, and it touches my heart a lot. So we work a lot, and as part of that program, we do the helping hand. So we give free massages to mums who have suffered a lot at whatever stage. That could be from a miscarriage right through to the heartbreaking loss later on. And I love working with those mums, and it's not about anything else except for giving back to her, just to give her something, because that's such a heartbreaking journey. So we work a lot with a lot of trauma. So we have a lot of clients who've gone through significant trauma. We work with a lot of mums who've had like birth trauma, and then are dealing with that subsequent pregnancy after that as well, and just a normal perinatal anxiety and depression, and postnatal anxiety and depression. So yeah, we work a lot with mums in that space, and we collaborate a lot with finding the right people that can help her wherever she's at with her journey. For me, it's all about collaborating as well. I always say it's like a pie. Massage on its own is a big part of it, but it's not going to be the only thing that fixes you. It's got to be acupuncture or naturopathy or counselling or physio, whatever you need to make that pie complete, to make your health, 100%.
So would you say majority of your clientele now are pregnant moms? Do you also take on clients to say like sports injuries like you're talking about earlier, or say if someone's got a sprained neck, would you take those clients as well?
Yeah. So remedial covers a whole kind of realm of things. And I think when you've done it, remedial is a bit like anything. You do remedial training and then you specialize. And we
Mm.
definitely have, I think we have a nice, beautiful balance between our mums who are on that journey through into pregnancy and motherhood. And then we have that component of remedial as well. And I really love doing both because and a mum will always become a remedial client. It's not like there's a stop and a start. It's just this
Yeah.
flow of, okay, we don't need to do these techniques. I might change into these remedial techniques. So that's kind of the specialty there. In terms of sports and sports injuries, yes, I definitely have the knowledge and the content, and my staff have got the knowledge and experience definitely in that area. Is it something we advertise to specialise in? Not really, because I think that for those real acute kind of injuries, I think I would be likened to refer them on to somebody else. And that usually comes back to the space and capacity that we've got in our bookings and stuff as well. But yeah, if we've got a client that comes in from a remedial, absolutely love doing remedial stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I just had one last question. So, I've had a treatment from you before, and Matt and everyone else has. I'm just, where do you get those magical hands?
I don't know. It's funny. One of my beautiful friends, she was actually one of my very first clients 17 years ago, and she's always said I should set up a business and call it Healing Hands. And it's interesting. I always say I feel like I've got two parts to my brain. I feel like I've got a part of like this business brain, and then I go into the treatment room and it's different. And sometimes I will actually shut my eyes and just let my hands do it exactly what it needs to do. And I'm not saying I'm a healer, and I'm not saying, I'm this kind of person that can heal anything.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of I really feel with what I feel underneath my hands, and I know everything in my head. I call it a funnel. So when I walk into a treatment room, and my staff are exactly the same, and that's why I only employ the best staff. We all walk into the treatment room knowing exactly what our game plan is based on what we've had in our consultation with our client and worked out what areas we need to do and what techniques. And they're still applied. I just feel the tissue that's underneath my hands. And I don't work with, that's where a trigger point should be. I work with what I feel underneath my hands. So I don't know if I've got
Right.
magic hands, and I don't think I've got healing hands, but I just like to feel what the body is telling me and go from there.
I kind of know what you're saying. It's just kind of intuition. Like, because I think, yeah, when you first got here, everyone's like, Jodie, she's got these amazing hands. Like everyone in the clinic was like, you gotta go, you gotta go. Like, all right, I'm gonna go, and it's true.
Oh, thanks, Bob. That means a lot. Thank you.
um, yeah. Before we wrap up, because I know the COVID situation. What is the status of your business hours right now? What do you expect going forward?
Yeah, good question. I'll have to be honest, there's been a lot of tears, probably like a lot of businesses at the moment about that. We made the
Mm.
choice on the 16th of March before the government announced to close, that it was in the best interest of our clients' health, particularly because we do work with pregnant mums and newborn mums, and we have got children at home. So whilst there was a lot of uncertainty in March, we made the decision to pause our clinic. On, I think it was Tuesday night or Wednesday, the government announced that we could go back into massage, which was really exciting. The catch to that is, and why we connect so much with our clients, is we're all mums. We've gone through the journey, and we all have children at school, homeschooling, which is great. And I've always had full respect for teachers, and even more so now. So for us, for the clinic, given our commitments with the family, we are unlikely to be able to offer any during the week services until school goes back, which at this stage is the end of May. So we're going to do a soft reopen where I will just be working with our acute or chronic care patients one weekend day. And that will be a process of me contacting the clients that we had to cancel for the last 4 weeks and touching base with where they're at and booking them in, and then ramping up to be able to open the clinic up again on the 1st of June. But that will also be dependent on keeping in contact with government regulations and what's happening with this whole COVID thing. If, the cases, hopefully, we've all done our bit and we've kept it at a stable line, and let's continue with that. But at this stage, It will be semi-open with a full open opening, hoping for the 1st of June.
Okay, great. So for those of people that want more information, where can they find you? What's your website, social media handles? What's the best way?
Yeah. So if you go to merakaitherapies.com.au, or you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, and that's spelled Merakai as well. So yeah, and we've also got a YouTube channel as well for all of our videos we've been doing during the last 4 weeks.
Oh, I didn't know that. I have to check that out.
Yeah, it's just the same videos that are on Facebook, just helping
Yeah.
people find a different way to be able to view them. So.
Okay, all right, Jody. Yeah, so that's, if you guys have any questions or if anyone has any inquiries, just go to Merakai Therapies. She'll take care of you.
Cool. Thank Thanks, Bob.
All
I'll see you in the
right, thank
clinic
you.
soon.